Hey y'all, welcome to Cooking with Miss Holt. We're gonna do a really special recipe today called Texas hash. And the recipe is not special because it's fancy, it's special because of the person who gave it to me. And I'm not gonna say the lady's name because I wanna respect her privacy, but I have known her for 35 years and she actually served this casserole to me at her home about 35 years ago. And it was so wonderful, I never forgot about it. And she recently gave me permission to share this recipe with you. But yesterday, when I knew I was going to do this video, I gave great thought to how I would describe her to you all. If you have a friend in your life or someone in your life and you say, that's the kind of mom, grandmother, friend, sister that I want to be, that's what this lady is for me. Her word is just the gold standard of everything in life as far as I'm concerned. She is just a smart, wonderful, and compassionate lady, and I just think that she is the greatest. So anyway, and I thank her for giving me this recipe. So let me tie my hair back and get everything set up, and we're gonna get started making Texas hash. So what I have here is I have a chopped up bell pepper and a chopped up onion, like a Vidalia onion or whatever sweet onion you have where you are. And then I have 3 pounds of ground beef. So I'm going to saute this bell pepper and onion in some olive oil and then add the hamburger and cook it and drain it. And then I'll come back and show you when I've finished that. Okay, y'all, I've got my hamburger cooked and my peppers and onions. And let me show you what all I put in my casserole here. So the hamburger, peppers, and onions, like I showed you before. Also, this is a 28-ounce can. Yeah, 28-ounce can of whole tomatoes with the juice. Do not drain them and do not puree them. You just want to break them up. You can break them up a little bit, you know, in a blender or a food processor, but she said not to puree them. So that's in there also. 3/4 of a cup of long grain rice, and I use the Mahatma. Don't use minute rice or rice that's already cooked. It's uncooked rice. And then I put a teaspoon of salt and a 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. So, and you can do that to taste. And I salted the hamburger a little bit and the peppers and onions because we've got 3 pounds of hamburger in here. And generally hamburger takes a teaspoon of salt to a pound of hamburger, but that's certainly your preference. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cover this tightly. She has a casserole with a lid, I do not. So I'm gonna cover this really tightly and I'm gonna bake it at 375 for an hour. And also, before I go, speaking of salt and pepper, I was gonna show you this. If you grew up in the 70s or the 80s, you may have these little vintage salt and pepper shakers. I told you I like everything vintage, so I think I bought these at a little tag sale or something, but I just love these little Tupperware salt and pepper shakers. But anyway, I'm gonna cover this and bake it for an hour at 375, and I'll be back and show you what it looks like later. Okay, y'all, our Texas hash is out of the oven. And if I did not say this before, this is a 9 by 13 casserole, so a 3-quart dish. And I just took this out of the oven about a minute ago, so it's still really hot. So let me put my phone down and I will serve some up on a plate for you. Okay, y'all, I've got our Texas hash served up here. And the sweet lady that gave me the recipe, she serves it with saltine crackers, so that's how we do it. And it's great to take to a potluck, to a family dinner, or just a weeknight dinner. It's something quick to make up, and you could even cook your hamburger and saute your peppers and onions the night before, and then come in and just mix it all up and put it in the oven, and then in an hour you have dinner. So it took it about an hour to cook on 375. So I will post the recipe in the comments, and thank you for joining me.